Hi guys, how you doing? You know, interestingly, one of the most popular questions I get asked is, Mark, why is it so difficult to manifest from a state of lack? Like, why is it so hard to manifest when I'm depressed? Or better yet, why do I constantly struggle with my mind to think positive? I mean, I'm trying something, I'm doing what you're teaching, and I'm putting forth, but sometimes it's just not working. It's like my mind is stronger than me. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how to fix that. But this is the most powerful thing you can do to change your life and your destiny. Okay? Remember this statement, all right? Here we go. Neurons that fire together will wire together. It's going to make sense. I'm going to teach you about the brain and why it's so difficult to manifest from a state of lack and how to fix that. You can fix that, you'll change your life. So let's talk about the brain, right? The brain, reality, all that good stuff here. So the first thing you must understand, guys, is the reason why it's difficult for you to change your thoughts or do anything of this, it's partly not your fault. Two things are happening here. Number one is environment. Number two is genetics. Now this is where it gets interesting here. Now we have epigenetics, geneticists, neuroscientists. They've also now discovered that within our genes we could hold information of lack or need or desperate. You ever hear that saying, the rich get richer, the poor get poorer? So now there's actually now scientific evidence that is showing that some of our genes we have no control of. We got it from our parents. So that means you could inherit genes that will make you think poor, will make you think depressed, will make you think lack. That's number one. Number two, now, if you don't have that, then you could have the environment. That means now where you got your subconscious adapted to all these different variables. You know how reality works, the limit, the lack, the mindset. If you hear your parents arguing, that's the environment. With that being said, I have great news for you. You can still fix it. You can change it. Remember, information is power. Once you know something, then you become a master and change it. So now you just recognize something. So the first thing you want to understand is, okay, I can't be too hard on myself because some of it I can't control. It's genetics. And that goes to show you further evidence that our world is based on what? Frequency, vibration, information. That's how can someone get lack mindset, scarcity mindset, program in their genetics, in their genes, in their DNA? That has to come through information. Information travels through what? Energy, frequency, light. Information, that's what we're made of. So here's what happens. So the reason it's so difficult for you to manifest from a state of lack is because the brain's neurons are already fused. Your brain already made its mind up and created a path. So look at it like this. It's like when you build a road. Once the road is built, it's very hard to tear a road up, right? Once they build a road, you just can't go out there and tear a road up, right? But in your brain, it's a little bit different. It's actually it's easier to tear a road up in your brain. And here's how you do it. The reason why, because when neurons get fused, they take information from outside. Photons or the electrons. So the electron is what we use to create our world. We are all electrons. Electrons has intelligence. So the brain takes information. These electrons, they come in different forms such as photons and light. So the brain gets this information in and it puts it in your mind, and then it creates your world and actually influences your subconscious to manifest a world of lack, scarcity, and all that stuff. And this is why it's so hard for you to think positive for like a day. If you ever try to think positive, you notice like your brain goes right back to thinking negative because those neurons are fused. And the only way for you to change it, you have to be constantly pay attention to what you think. So here's here's the secret now. You have to start to become aware and disciplined of what's going on in your head. That's how you're going to remap or change what we call a neural link. That's called synaptic pruning. They call it neuroplasticity. You following me? All right. So the first step to do this, there's a couple ways you can do this. The first step, though, is to understand and say, all right, so now I know why my mind just seems to take me over. Because my mind literally is taking me over because it's rewired that way. So what can I do to change it? So the first thing you want to do, and this is very, very important, this is one of the easiest way to change it, guys. When you go to sleep every night and you close your eyes, you must think about something good. Then while you're falling asleep, you must talk out aloud in a soft voice something good about yourself. Like if you're falling asleep, you have to say, man, I'm so talented. I'm so gifted. I'm so wealthy. I'm so successful. I'm just, whatever it is, you can say that stuff while you're falling asleep. Just say it out like that, under your breath. Keep saying it until you fall asleep. That's gonna affect the wiring of your brain so much easier. Okay? Now during the day, what you want to start to do now, you want to start to watch the self-chatter. The self-chatter now is coming from your ego. So notice, did you know your mind talks so much bad about you than someone else? Let me show you something. Your mind will say, you're so stupid. You're not good enough. How can she like you? How can he like you? What do you have to offer? You can't get that. You're not on their level. You know what you deserve. That's not good enough. You can't get that. You don't deserve that stuff. Who you think you are? You suck. You're just not good. You always knew it was going to happen to you. I could go on and on and on. And you know the story. Now check this out. That's what your mind does to you every day. Many of us, we get so used to it, we channel it out, but it's still there subconsciously. Now what you want to do, you want to imagine your mind now as a person. Now imagine if someone says that to you, you're going to take that more offensive, right? You're going to be like, what? Hey. So someone comes up to you and says, you suck. You're not good enough. Now it's going to change. You're going to be like, what? So you got to approach your mind like a person talking to you because you want to be able to take it personal. You don't want your mind to just run over you. So you have to take it personal with the self-chatter. So if you notice the self-chatter, you have to come correct. You got to step right in. It says, no. And there's one simple formula you can do to fix this. Just think, remember, law of opposite. That's how you fix the mind. So you don't have to do it. So when the mind says something negative, put the opposite. So if your mind says, you don't deserve it, the opposite is, yeah, I deserve it. You're just not good enough. I'm plenty good enough. See that? You start to boom, 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 play with the mind. So, okay, I got you, tick for tack. Now you start the process of neurolinguistic programming. That's how your brain now, see what happens now, those neurons, right, that were fused with those negative parts, guess what happens? A new highway starts to build. It actually starts to create another path because your brain has billions of these things. So it'll shut that road down. You know that road that was negative? It just shuts it down. Just like when you're on a road, they have the road closed, you can't go there. Your brain actually does that. Your brain says, okay, so we're not taking this road, or we're going to build a new road. Now the new neurons start to wire together, they start to fire together. And once they start to fire together like that, that's when you're going to see a new change. So if you're wondering, and there's the answer now, if you're trying to figure out, man, why is it so hard? Well, because your brain is just wired like that. It's really hard to override the brain unless you can be disciplined, unless you become aware, unless you know what's going on. A lot of people don't know what's going on. You now have the information, so you know what's going on. And this information that I gave you now, this is very valuable stuff because now you can use it starting. And this is the reason this is so powerful, because this is not something you have to wait to do. You can do it right now. You can do it while watching this video because your brain is always ready to change. Remember, guys, the electron is watching you. It's observing whether to go in a superposition or whether to become an actual thing. Remember, we are electrons created as quantum particles. We are that. So the electron is watching and is sending information to your brain. So if you start to notice your self-chatter, if you start to do that little simple method when you go to sleep at night, you're going to change. Now let me talk about why this method is so much more powerful when you do it at night. Because when you go to sleep, the workers take a break. So it's easier to get to the subconscious, to rewire. Because the ego goes offline, the critical device starts to go offline. So now the highway is wide open. Now you can go in there, you can build a road real fast because you don't have these blocks, you don't have these people like stopping you. That's the best analogy I can give you, because the subconscious is more open. It comes alive. It's more ready for impression. So now the brain is really open. So now, remember guys, you can only program your brain through your conscious mind. It takes the ego to do this. People don't get that. You create your world through the conscious. Well, not create your world, but you start the creation through the conscious commands. So you have to use your mind to get to your subconscious mind. That's why you can never kill your ego. People say, hey, Mark, can I kill my ego? No, you need your ego, because it's going to get you to that level. So what you do now is you start to program the subconscious. Use your conscious mind. And the reason it's so much effective because now the brain operates in dimensions. Did you know that? So dimensions are frequencies. Alpha, theta, beta, gamma, delta. We want to focus on alpha/theta, like one and the same. So when the brain goes into the theta dimension, that's when the neurons are easily malleable. So if you can do this for 30 days, every night, what I just showed you, your whole life will shift. You will notice the negative chatter will stop. You will notice the self-abuse and talk about yourself will stop. And now you'll notice that what you've been focusing on will start to show up in your world. So it's going to start like this. You'll see a mirror effect first to show you that the process is working. So you may see synchronicities, or you may see something that you were thinking about, like something starts showing up somewhere around your world. And you're like, man, that's great. That's weird. I was just thinking about that. And there it is. Bing, bing, bing. Get happy, because that's the brain is showing you that, hey, I am starting to do this new work. So here's an image. It's like when you're creating something, right? They always give you like a copy of it. They say, all right, so here's the first draft. So tell me if you like this. And if you say, yeah, he says, all right, I'm going to make this the final copy. That's how the brain works too. The brain works the same way. It wants to show you. It says, all right, Mark, here's your rough draft. So is this what you want? And I'm like, yeah, yeah, that's what I want. But why don't you just clean this up a little bit? Okay. Then it goes back again, and it shows you a new mirror, and it says, is this it now? I was like, yeah, that's it. He's like, okay, so I'm going to go ahead, and I'm going to fuse this thing up together, and then we're going to start to make it your new world. And I'm going to say, yeah. And then that's exactly what's going to happen. I'm going to have a new world, a new reality. So the things I think is going to show up. Because you got to remember, reality is what? It's malleable. You can bend it. You can fold it. You can stretch it. You can even tear reality. You can push a hole through reality, through space. This space right here, you can tear it. If I had enough energy right now, take the energy of, I think, 10 quintillion suns, concentrating on this space, I'll tear space. That's what black holes do. They tear holes in space. So I change my reality now based to what? The electron. Those photons now come in, and they give my brain a new map of reality. So remember now, in quantum physics, right, all possibilities exist simultaneously. All versions of my best life exist right now. I just get to determine which one I want to experience through my attention. So now that I neuroprogram my brain now, my subconscious mind's job is a lot easier now, because all it has to do, it just goes through these infinite worlds, infinite possibilities of what Mark wants, and it pops them into this reality. Then I get to experience them. So I experience something physical. People vibrate with the same mentality, will come into my life. I'll get what you call good luck, but it's really alignment. All good stuff starts to happen. Because again, I understand the fabric of space-time reality, that is really malleable, it's bendable. And once you get that, it's a wrap. So there you have it. That's how you can manifest and change from a state of lack. You have to do this. It's the most important and most powerful keys to your success. That's how you'll shift from a lack mindset to an abundance mindset. Here's a better caveat for that. Once this happens, it becomes automated. Let me repeat that. Automated, meaning that I said it and I forget it, because my subconscious has it. My brain now will do a habit to make me do it, so I don't really have to try anymore. It just starts to keep going. Bimbo, bingo, bingo, bingo. There you go.